Hello and welcome to ED 584, and this is module number 7. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. There you go. And the photo, I took this about 10 years ago, March 2013, and this was near Rexburg, Idaho, looking east toward the Tetons and east towards Wyoming. And like I said, it was in early March of 2013, late winter in eastern Idaho. So let's go ahead. We'll get started here. Module 7 introduces the analysis of variance, or ANOVA procedure. An ANOVA is used when it is necessary to compare 3 or more groups. It can also be used for comparing 2 groups, although in that case, it is more common to use a form of the t-test. Like the t-test procedures we have examined earlier, there are various versions of the ANOVA procedure. The first 2 we will examine are associated with between subjects design, which is this module, and within subjects design, which is the next module. For this module, our focus will be on the one-way between subjects ANOVA procedure. The ANOVA procedure produces an F statistic, also called F obtained. In the same way as we used the T statistics and compared it to the T critical score to make a decision, we use the F statistic and compare it to the F critical score to make a decision. The table used to look up the F critical value is called the F table. Unlike the t-test, the ANOVA procedure is a 2-step process when a significant finding is obtained. First, compare the variance of all groups to determine if a difference exists, and that is to calculate the F statistic and compare it to the F critical value. The result of this analysis will not tell us where the differences are, but it will tell us whether a difference exists between the groups. Remember, we are usually working with 3 or more groups. If no difference is found, then we stop and summarize our findings by indicating that there is no statistical difference between the groups examined. If a difference is found, then we proceed with the second step of the ANOVA process, called a post hoc test. The post hoc test allows us to examine differences between pairs of the groups examined, pairwise comparisons, and to identify where the differences are. There are different forms of post hoc tests. The 2 we will address are Fisher's LSD, which is most liberal, and 2K's HSD, which is more conservative than Fisher's. Effect size can be determined with an ANOVA in a similar way as with the t-test. We look at eta squared or omega squared for this purpose. Remember, it is important to report an effect size with any statistically significant finding. Compared to the t-test procedures, the calculations become a bit more involved with the ANOVA procedures. Although we will develop basic skills and knowledge with these calculations, the use of SPSS can be very helpful in doing this for us. So let's go ahead, we'll get into this. And here we go. So again, we're going to go into the ANOVA procedure. First thing we're going to do, first part of this, is to study a short overview of research design and t-tests. And I'm going to click on it. And so here you go. So that's a review. And then for the also in how to use SPSS, you're going to do section 7.2 on one-way ANOVAs. And then from the statistics for the behavioral sciences, chapter 12, an analysis of variance one way between subjects design. Then there's a supporting PowerPoint. There's a YouTube video on introduction to ANOVA, one-way ANOVA, and then one way between subjects ANOVA. Then for the assessment, your module 7 reflective commentary, and then continue and wrap up assignment 2. So For the next module, we will continue our study of the ANOVA procedure, and we'll focus specifically on the within ANOVA. If you'd like to move ahead, and please begin and review Chapter 13 of the SBS text. Also, as we're getting toward the midterm, be thinking of your final project. My goal is for that final project is to give you a head start on your Chapter 3 or your methods for your dissertation or thesis. So be thinking of that, because we will get to the end of April here quickly, early May, when the paper is due, and also the final presentations. If you have any questions on that, please let me know. And thank you for listening, and we will see you next time. Take care.